everybody, come on in, come on in, come on in. Hello, Ephraim. Hello, Ricardo. Come on in. Hello, everybody. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Um, for those who at least celebrate in the U.S. Hey, listen, when everyone comes in, please let me know where you are located, and let me know how long you've been playing. Hi, Vicky. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Enrico. So glad you could be on. All right, James. How are you? There. Oh, Josh. Oh, that's you. Okay. Good to see you, Josh. All right, Felix. Welcome. Mm. Wow, Sumo Love from Hong Kong. Heinzel from Milwaukee. I've been playing my whole life. Recently became interested in gospel. Cool deal. Hello, Andre from California. Malik from Mississippi. Wow. Let's see how many different states and how many continents we can get. Hey, how you doing, Leon? Hey, Simon from Georgia. Wow. James playing for 40 years. Wow. Wow. Renaud from St. Lucia. Wow. Come on in. Come on in. I missed you all last week. We were on our Thanksgiving break. But I hope everybody got a chance to watch our the left hand rhythmic comping video. So if you did, let me know if you had any questions or what you thought of that. I'm well, Leon. From C major 7 to G flat major 7. That's interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Alright, I'll keep that one question. Okay, so as we all come in, today is going to be all about questions you have. Ben from Nebraska. Like, I've been playing for 8 years. I need to progress. All right. So everybody, write your questions in the chat. What are some things that you have been, some questions that have been boggling your mind? What are some things that you've been frustrated with that you don't understand? Today we're not going to be on extremely long. I say that every week. And then we're here and it's an hour and a half later. But I'm going to try not to keep you on too late. But today I just want to answer some questions. So this is your opportunity to ask some questions and hopefully I can answer your question. All right. So everyone, just a little housekeeping. When you order anything on our site, you're given a username and password. And so if you go to my site, skilledmusician.com, and click on your account, and then log in using the credentials you set up when you purchased anything from us, it's all there. So All right. Tips to fix flying picky. Okay. All right. Um, all right. So again, everyone, how can anyone get to that Sean Wilson level? Okay. Um, lead sheets. Okay. Left and right hand independence. All right. So everybody, please, like as I was saying, today's going to be all about your questions. So if you can write your questions in the chat box, what are some things that you've been wanting to know, but don't understand yet? Weird and organized. All right, so I'm copying down the questions, and I'm going to start answering them in just a moment. Um, all right. So, all right. All right, you all are coming through with the questions, and so just a couple more moments to let everybody get in the room, and we'll be. Hi, Chords Monster. Hey, Bays Thomas. All right. Progressions and reharmonization techniques. Okay. So for those that are coming in, what we're doing is just write your questions down in the chat section. And today I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can. So I have quite a few to go through. All right. And so I'm going to go in not a specific order. So I'm just going to kind of pick them as I see them. All right. Some of the questions are really big questions that will take more than a 2-minute response. But these are all really good questions, really, really good questions. All right. Okay. Let's see. Symbole says soloing. That's funny. Okay. All right. So I have some really good questions, and keep giving me your questions. I will try to get to them as quickly as possible. All right. So the first question I have is. I don't remember who it was from, but someone asked for progressions from C major to G flat major 7. All right. All right. So let's talk about that. All right. And let me know your thoughts on the video from last week that I posted, the left-hand rhythmic comping video. Let me know what you thought. Here's someone asked for the link to it, so here is the link to it. All right. So yeah, some really great questions you all are posting. So thank you. Really great questions. All right, so let's start answering. All right, some progressions for passes from C major 7 to G flat major 7. All right, so that's a interesting progression to G flat major 7. Um, and so with any progression, or you want to find some common tone ideas, make use of plagal and authentic cadence ideas. So let's see. Here's C major 7. Just or real simply. And here's G flat major 7. All right. So let's talk about just so one progression. So on C major 7 and then go to D flat 7 to G flat major 7. So just a simple D flat 7 chord, which is what we'd add there. So C major 7. And what makes it really cool is the voice leading. The melody note here, let's say I put a B on top. And then I'm going to keep the B on top for this D flat major 7 and then move that to a D flat. So this top line is my melody line. So listen again. It's my C major 7, then that's pretty cool. So I like that. Right? Let's see. Let's do a different melody. Really quickly. Let's try E. We'll keep it on E, and then F. So this will be our melody. So C major 7 with the E on top. Then D flat 7 with the E on top. So that's like a sharp 9. And often when you have a sharp 9, you include the sharp 5. So I'm going to do that. So it's D flat 7, sharp 9, sharp 5. And then to G flat major 7. Yeah, you hear that? So let's try it. That's okay. Let's try. Okay. So the key is I'm really thinking harmonically first, and then thinking melodically at the same time, and pairing those two together. Because if you just think chord and then it won't sound as sweet. So try to find a melodic, nice voice leading that'll make that not as harsh to the ear. There you go. Tips to fix a flying pinky. That was one question. How do you fix a flying pinky? So what that is when you're playing and you notice your pinky is up in the air. All right. I was taught a particular methodology, technique, the Alexander technique. When I realized after 18 years of playing that I had bad technique, and I suffered injury because of it. And so it began like several years long study of technique, and I saw several teachers to help fix my issues. And so one of the things is weight distribution. Playing the keyboard is not like typing on a keyboard, like you type on a computer keyboard. On a computer keyboard, you hold your hand above the keys and then you type, and so you're doing this motion. And so you can type and have your pinky up in the air like this, if you can see that. But when you play the keyboard, you want to have all the weight of your arm in the note you're playing. So if all the weight of my arm is in this note, it's difficult for me to lift the pinky and do these things. So I would practice putting all the weight of my arm in one note. How can you practice this? Let your hand just rest on the keyboard, and let your arm be a noodle. Let your arm just completely from your shoulder to the part of your finger that touches the piano. Let it be a noodle, like just no tension, and then play a note, and let your arm be a noodle. And when all your weight is on that one note, it's almost impossible to lift up another finger like the flying pinky thing. So to relax. How can anyone get to that Sean Wilson level, that monster? Sean Wilson is phenomenal. His ability to hear and decipher. Um, but with any skill, there comes a significant level of practice. So if you're referring to his ability to hear, um, I would suggest transcribing a lot. Um, um, your ear. One of the benefits of transcribing, you might get frustrated. Frustrated trying to figure out what is this particular note. But and then when you find it, it's like, I finally found this particular note on this recording. Or you might listen to a 3 second snippet and try to figure out what it is, and it takes you forever, and you finally figure it out. And I remember sitting down for hours, 2 or 3 hours, trying to figure out a 3 second clip. And then when I finally got it, I finally got it. But there was something else happening while I was sitting there trying to figure out what was happening in this clip. And that was the sound was being kind of drilled into my head. And so the next time I heard that sound, I immediately knew what it was because I knew that sound. That sound had become a friend almost. We'd spent 2, 3 hours together. So it became a friend. So I would suggest if you're talking about his ability to hear and pick up transcribe, then practice transcribing. Someone asked, I think this was Heinz, so where can I find good lead sheets for common gospel tunes that I should know? This is an interesting question. In the jazz world, we have lead sheets for everything. There are real books. In the gospel world, we don't really have a real book. What we have is several different hymn books. Now, those hymn books are songs of over the past 50 or 60 years, some a little farther than that. And it takes a lot for a current song, to make it into the hymn book. And so I would start there with the hymn books, and you have your Baptist hymn book, your Kojic hymn book, your different hymn books. But if you're talking about current songs, I am not 100% sure where to look for those, to be honest. All right. So someone asked, what are some good things to help with left and right hand independence? Slow practice. Whatever it is you're trying to do it slowly. Um, there's a jazz tune. Oh, sorry. So that's a song called Oleo. It's a rhythm changes song. And I decided for my grad school demo tape, I would play that song, and the second time around, I would do it and separate my hands by a beat and a half. Jalen Gilstrap, yes, that's right, Oleo. Jalen Gilstrap is a phenomenal saxophonist and pianist as well. He's phenomenal. So look him up online, Jalen Gilstrap. So let me try to demonstrate. I haven't done this in years, but let me see if I can demonstrate this. So here's the song. Oh, sorry. So you see how I've separated my hands, and it took me a really long time to get that. And the way I got that was really slow practice. So whatever it is you're trying to do, whether you're trying to solo while you have a passive left hand, so do it. That's my tip for right and left hand independence. If we wanted to organize the main topics of learning piano for jazz or gospel in chapters, what would be the order to study these chapters? That's a great question, and those are two completely, well, not completely different, but fairly different topics, um, I have, and I do have some resources that help group all of this together. And let me see if I can't find that really quickly for you. In the meantime, let me answer someone else's question. How can I get the contemporary 2019 keyboard voicings? Um, I'm assuming this person is a gospel musician, and so if you're looking for 2019 voicings, then I would say listen to 2019 music and study it, break it down. So take one song and break it down. Follow a musician. There are some phenomenal gospel musicians, like young and old, that are extremely current. Like Mike Burrell is kind of like one of the best in the world, and he's still very current. But there are a lot of other guys that are phenomenal and have 2019 voicing. So I would say pick a person and study them for sure. What is the best resource to learn how to name chords? Huh. All right. Well, I can just tell you what I did. I studied theory books and learned the basics, and then just play a chord and see if I can name it. And I have a software that I use to show the stuff on the screens. It's called Chordy. Matter of fact, let me change my view so you can see what it looks like when it's telling you the name of the chords. All right. So this up there is Chordy. So if so let's see. Let's E minor 9. Oh, sorry, 7. Let's do E minor 9. Let's do I don't know, C9. G minor 7 flat 5. So I would pick a resource like that, but learn the basic rules first, and then pick. So Chordy is something is a great software. You could find the links to Chordy in any of my videos. So for sure. How to practice playing running bass lines with the left hand. All right, so that's a great question. There are lots of ways to do this. That's a really big question. Let me give you. Let me just give you a short answer. This is a really big question. I could spend probably 15-20 minutes on it. Let me give you a two-part answer. The first answer is play chord tones. So let's say I'm playing a C7 chord. Just start there. Maybe add the 13. All right. And then if you're looking for a little more advanced lines, think chord tones on downbeat. So if I'm playing a C7 chord, I'm gonna put the C, E, G, and B flat on the downbeats. So you see that? So this D was on the upbeat. E, G, B flat, B, C. So I had everything on the downbeat. And then think chromatically as well. And so what I mean by that is you might think I'm going to do 1 5. So 1 2 4 5 2 3. So think chromatically up to these two notes. So chromatically up to the G, and then chromatically up to the C. Right. So those are 2 ways to do it. 3 ways. All right. When you're doing chord movements, do you think about what chord you want to move to and play that, or do you just let your fingers guide you? Okay, that's a great question. I'm always thinking about where I'm going, and I'm always thinking about melody. And so those two things guide me. So let's say I'm in the key of, I'll do something really, really simple. Let's do a key that I have not done. Maybe E. Let's do E. All right. So let's say I'm in E, and I want to do a 2-5-1 to the 4 to A. So I'm gonna do B minor, E7, A. So I'm in E though, right? I know I want to go to A, so I'm gonna do a progression, a common progression, a 2-5-1 to get to A. So that's in my head. But then I'm also thinking about the melody. What should the melody be? So let's see. I might say da, 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 da. Let's try that. Da, 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 da. So I have that. That's a melody. Right. So I'm thinking 2-5-1. So that's where I would start first. 2-5-1 to the A, right? But I'm also thinking melodically. Something. This is my B minor. So I'm just thinking 2-5-1. That's like the base level thinking, but the higher level thinking is I'm thinking melodically. What will make this sound good? For sure. Passing chords to go to major, minor, and dominant chords. Hmm. I don't remember who asked that, but I have a pretty cool video where I spent about 30 minutes talking about passing chords. I will put a link to that in the description box just so, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time going over that, and that's something I've covered a lot. So let me put a link to that in the description box. I mean, in the chat box for you. So here is the link. Check that video out. All right. How to change in between keys smoothly like an organist. Okay, this is a great question. How do you change in between keys smoothly like an organist? Organists, because there's no sustain pedal, like to move in ways that doesn't require them to lift their hand much. And so what they do is like define chromatic motions, and a lot of common tone things. So let's take a progression. Let's do it this way. Let's take a progression like let's go to the key of let's try the key of E flat. Let's try that. So we're in the key of E flat. All right. And we'll try the progression E flat, and then A flat, and then C minor, and then B flat. So this is our 4-chord progression. So we have E flat, A flat, C minor, and then B flat. All right. And on piano, you have the luxury of being able to jump around, right? But on organ, you don't have that luxury. So I'm trying to, on organ, I'm trying to find every common tone possible. So let's look at the first 2 chords. E flat is made up of the tones E flat, G, and B flat. A flat has the tones A flat, C, E flat. If I extend it to A flat major 7, there's a G in there. So if I'm looking at for connections, both of these chords share E flat, both share G, right? So from going from E flat major to A flat, and I might even make it an A flat major 9. I might even extend it further. And then now I have B flat there too. So here's that chord will work for both. This chord will work for both. That chord will work for C minor. And then B flat. If I have a B flat here, I have a C, and then everything else I'm going to drop down. So, right? So you're trying to find ways you can move closely or chromatically. One progression you see me do often is something like this. And that's an organ move. It's a, so it's like 3 6 2 5 1. That's what it is. So that move is, if I was playing full chords, it'd be F minor, E minor. I'm in the key of C. So F minor, E minor, A7, D minor, G7, C. But on so you see how I move chromatically and just kind of hold some tones, move some others. So the movements are very small. All right. So soloing techniques over shell voicings. That's a big topic. Soloing techniques over shell voicings versus regular chords are the same. That's a big topic. One of the courses I teach in our online school is an improvisation course. So this is like a huge topic. I could spend literally like months on this topic. So that, someone, I forgot who that was, put soloing. All right, so I'll give you a quick tip on soloing. And this will hopefully get the soloing over shell voicings as well. So shell voicings, for those that don't know, are the root and third and or root and 7. So let's take a 2-5-1 progression. So let's take a D minor 7, G7 to C major 7. All right. So the root for this first chord is D, and the third, for instance, is F, and then the root for this second chord is G, and the 7th is F. So when you're doing shell voicing, one cool way to move is root and third to root and 7, or root and 7th to root and third. That's a 7 right there. So here is, and then let me finish it out. And then we have, so we have root and third, root and 7th, then root and third. So it'd be C and E. So this is shell. So D minor, G7, E, C major 7. Or you can do it the opposite way. So we started with root and third. Let's start with the root and 7th this time. Really quickly, and then we get to the soloing technique. So root and 7. So it would be D and C. Root and third would be G and B, and then root and 7th would be B and C, C and B, like that. So right. So those are shell voicings. Okay, some soloing techniques. The first soloing technique I will tell you is what King Joe Oliver told Louis Armstrong, or as we call him, Louis Armstrong. And he told him, learn to play the melody before you learn all that fancy stuff. The melody is where the business is. So learn the melody, learn to play the melody, and then start embellishing the melody. Often, a lot of people want to really go to town on soloing, but have not learned the melody yet. Let's take a. So I'll do shell voicings. All right, so that's the melody. So on soloing, I'm thinking about the melody. The first route I go is just thinking about the melody and just try to embellish the melody. So. Yeah, so Autumn Leaves. That's right, Paul. So I'm thinking melody. So that's my quick tip for you for soloing. Um, all right, how to use chords outside the key. All right, so someone asked, how do I use chords outside of the key? Okay, how do you use chords outside of the key? Well, there are a couple ways to use it, but let me just give you one way. One way is to think about where you're going. So if I'm going to, let's see, let's say we're in the key of C. That's easy to see. I might play a D flat major 7 that resolves to C. So why did I choose D flat? Because it's a half step up, so it wants to fall. So this tone wants to fall. So I just make use of that. Right. Okay. All right. So I ran out of my first set of questions. Let me grab some more. So Chinchilla asks, what are some chord movements you can do diatonically that help your left hand groove while soloing? Well, groove is all about rhythm. And so I would definitely check out the left hand comping video I just put out. There is a part 2 coming where I talk about actually harmonically what you want to play. So just stay on the lookout for that one. That one's coming. When you get a normal progression, how do you add some spice, like 6, sharp 4, flat 13? It's all depending on the melody, Ricardo. So let's say I'm in, let's stick with what's on the screen. So I have 251 in C major. So, right, that's kind of basic. So the first thing I'm thinking is melodically. So let's say for instance my melody goes, that's my melody. But my progression is, right? So now I have to, this C sharp is clearly not part of the G. So that looks like a sharp 11. So I have to adjust my chord to take that in consideration. So now I have a 9 here on the C major. So I'm thinking about melody for sure. Okay? Andre says, is there a link to download the MIDI file from? Yeah. So if you go to the that particular live stream, and in the description right below the video, like the show notes, I'm gonna have a link there. So click that, just put in your email address, and it should actually, the next screen should be the actual files. But if not, you just go to your account page, click on your account in the top right, and you'll see it there. So yeah, just go there and do that. Let's see. Harmonic resolutions and arrivals. So James, I would say make use of tension and release. So the truth is, we have functional harmony and non-functional harmony, but the thing that guides all of it, so functional means like 5-1 and the stuff like classical theory that would teach us, and non-functional harmony stuff that really kind of doesn't make sense, like right? Um, but one key to all of it is tension and release. So think about applying tension and then releasing tension. That would be my quick answer. This is a great question. Abhinav Rajeshwar, I think I pronounced your name right. What do you think differentiates someone like Jacob Collier and any other musician? Okay, there are a few things that differentiate him. Um, I think it's with all of these great musicians. There are a couple of things. Um, um, and I don't personally know Jacob, so these are my the ramblings of a piano of another musician. There are a few traits that are uh, um, important. Um, the ability to focus on a particular thing for a while. Um, this is the only way you build your craft, whatever that craft is. You have to be able to focus on that thing. And some people don't really like to focus on one particular thing for a long period of time, so they never actually become really good at it. Um, what else? Uh-oh. Can you still hear me? Yeah, I think so. In Jacob's case, um, he has perfect pitch. I, I'm not 100% sure. I believe his mom has perfect pitch as well. And so I think he tells a story of how his mother wouldn't just ask him what this particular note was, but she would ask him how it made him feel. And this is an important question because it causes you to think beyond just what the note is, but how it makes you feel. And music is all about feeling. And so from a young age, Jacob was thinking about how things made him feel. And so in his brain, things are categorized in that kind of taxonomy. Um, he has an intense drive and interest in all things music. He's incredibly smart. Um, and so all those things piled together um, make a Jacob Collier um, for sure. He's unbelievable. Um, how do you how do you apply counterpoint and internal movement in a progression? Um, just thinking about let's see. Let's take a so so how do you do inner voice movement? You know what? Actually, I think about a month ago I did a live stream that was completely on inner voice movements. So I would definitely encourage you, Chords Monster, to check that one out. Alan Long says, but I can't seem to grasp hearing key modulations, especially some of the more exotic ones, even after I figure out one out in a recording. Any tips for consistently hearing key modulations? Um, Alan, the more you do it, the better you get at it. It's the honest truth. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Um, so I say just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Um, for sure, just keep doing it. Joseph Pryor, yes, I was trying to find that name of Joseph Pryor is the I think one of the music directors or played on the album for Jonathan Nelson, I believe. So if you're a gospel musician that wants kind of the 2019 sound, him and his good friend, I think his good friend's name is Kyrie or Dominique Bryce. Those two guys, Joseph Pryor and Dominique Bryce, they have their cutting edge 2019 sound for. Oh, there it is right there, Dominique Bryce. There you go. I just see the name. That's right, Kabbalah. Yeah, I hope I pronounced your name right. That's exactly right. So if you're a gospel musician, those two guys are phenomenal. Joseph Pryor, Dominic Bryce, yes, they put a lot of stuff on Instagram, and so check out their channels because it's phenomenal. Mommy is practicing scales necessary. Um, Well, it depends on what you want to do. Um, for me, it was necessary because I wanted to be fluent and be able to, do this kind of movements and things. If that's not your desire, then um, if you just kind of want to, then maybe not. One of the things that practicing scales also does, a byproduct, is it helps you become familiar with the instrument. Um, so there's not this level of unfamiliarity when you sit down. Um, but you don't have to do scales if you don't particularly want to. But it definitely will affect your fluidity. How do you play chords behind a soloist that's singing a hymn or familiar tune? This is a great question, Gary. It's all about push and pull. So the singer needs a harmonic a palette to sing on, but then needs you to set up the next chord change, so they help to propel them into the next section of the song. So you're playing a bed of chords underneath, but you're also jumping ahead and setting up the next thing, and then coming back to playing underneath behind them, and then jumping ahead. So it's a game of kind of push and pull, tug of war. I can't think of an example. I don't know, real quickly. This first song comes to mind. It's a gospel song that says, "I won't complain." Um, I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days. And some sleepless nights. So you see how I'm playing underneath, but then I go ahead in front and kind of set up the next change. When I look around and I think things over, all of my good days, they outweigh my bad days. And I don't complain. Yeah. So going ahead, so make sure you're giving the singer a strong harmonic bass to sing on top of, but then set up the next section. So you're not always waiting. So like if I waited, I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. You're not really helping the singer. The singer's doing all the work, and it's a partnership. Um, Julio Castillos asks how to play swing. Are you saying how to make your playing swing? The quick way is accent the non-chord tones. So if I have a line that goes, that's my line. I'm going to accent the non-chord tones. So I'm on a G7 sharp 9 sharp 5 chord. So the non-chord tones would be this one, this one, this one. So these tones are the non-chord tones. So I'm going to accent those. What are some nice chords? Some chords that are nice to use in jazz. The 6/9 chord is a common one. Also sharp 11. That's a nice chord. So 6/9, right? Cool sound. Um, um, this is an interesting question. David Affinia asks, how different is improvisation from soloing? This is On the surface, it appears it's not a deep question, but this actually is a really really deep question. Wow. All right. Improvisation is spontaneous creation. So I'm spontaneously composing in the moment composition. Um, Whereas soloing might not necessarily be improvisation. In classical music, they have these sections, and I forget the name. Someone please write in the chat what the name is. Um, I forgot what they are. Anyway, it's a solo section where the musician has a chance to solo for an extended period of time. And in yesteryear, the musicians would improvise these sections. But today, the musicians just play the improvised solos of the musicians from yesteryear instead of improvising. So in that case, the solo that they play is not improvisation. It's actually just practice composition, right? So that's the difference. Now you can improvise when you solo, for sure, and they're often used interchangeably. Um, so I hope that answers you. How to make the right choices when chord subbing? That's a great question, Paul. So one thing is you want to have a mental sound of what you're going for before you reach for it. So that means you must spend some time in the practice room working on these kind of sounds before you reach for it on the gig or at the concert or presentation or in the service or wherever you are. Um, so yeah, just spending some time and categorizing these sounds. How does this one feel to me? How do I like this one? Do you know something about Latin jazz solos? Um, Latin jazz is probably one of my weaker areas. I love Latin jazz. Um, Now the solo part of it is like solo. The improvisatory part of it is the same, but the groove and feel of it is something that I don't spend a lot of time on. Um, how to practice groove? That is a great. That is a great question. How do you practice groove? Hmm. Well, my short answer, if I had to give you like a bulletin board kind of answer, um, is play it till it makes you want to dance. Right? That's my short answer. I guess I can go in a lot further depth, but when I'm practicing a groove, for instance, um, let's see. I'll just I don't know. So I'm like, so if it doesn't make me want to move, then I keep tweaking and working on it. One good tip is to record yourself and listen back. Does it make you want to move? And then analyze why. So ask your questions. Why doesn't? Am I playing too straight? Or whatever you're doing. How to analyze improvisation done by other people. This is a great question. It takes time. If you want to analyze the whole solo, then of course you need to have a transcription of the whole solo. I like to analyze sections, like just snippets. Like, oh, over this section, I know the chord is uh, E minor. Uh, Chord Henry. All right. And so I would say take a section or one round and say, oh, what did he play over here? What did he play over here? And I would analyze that. So I wouldn't take a big chunk of a solo. I'd take a small part. Hello, how are you from China? Good to see you. Daniel, how to use medians. I have a video coming out for you soon. So I don't want to answer that today. Hi, I see you play these progressions and all these versions. How does that not get confusing? Oh, that's a great question. Practice. I spend a lot of time working on, like, say, D minor 7. Oh, sorry. And then in different ways, drop 2. And so, because I've spent a lot of time working on that, then I have the technical ability to play in different versions and not be confused. But definitely initially, very confusing. So I definitely understand. So it just takes some sitting down with it and just getting comfortable with it. Dr. Terrell Jones, could you elaborate how to practice playing around the singer approaches so you don't overplay, but simple strategies are your mindset? Okay, so just I'll give you a simple strategy, Dr. Terrell. When the singer is singing, play underneath and give the singer a bed to sing on top of. When the singer stops singing, that's your opportunity to set up the next section. Oftentimes, musicians, the word overplay comes not because they're playing so much, but they're playing at the wrong time. So, again, an example. I've had some good days. All right. So if I did this, I've had some good days. I've had some good days. like saying, it's too much. But if I did that before, I've had some good days, then it becomes not too much, and it was the exact same thing. So while the singer's singing, give the singer a bed, meaning kind of padding. And then when you have an opportunity, when the singer stops singing, that's your opportunity to play. What are some practice tips to use when learning how to play in different keys? Oh, I generally don't move in half steps. So I don't learn to move in one key and then go up a half step to the next key like this, because that's it's easy to do that. It's kind of almost cheating. It's not, but it's kind of like it. So I move in fourths or minor thirds. So if I learn to move in C, then I'm going to move to F, then B flat to E flat to A flat to D flat to G flat, B, E, A, D, G, and back to C. Or I might move in minor thirds. So I might learn it in D flat, then E, then G, then B flat. Then I move up to another, then B, D, F, A flat, then C, E flat, G flat, A. That way, I'm not kind of, when you move in half steps, I find that you kind of lose, because it's just simply sliding up. All right. Thanks. I plan to get some classes soon to sharpen my use on the keys. All right, cool deal, KWT. Paul Shields says the answer to everything is practice. No name. What passing strategies do you recommend? I kind of only know 251. Well, no name. 251 is such a big one. I know some musicians who are phenomenal musicians, professional musicians, and they only do 251. Nothing else. Like, they practice 251 religiously every day and have been doing it for years. So 251 is such a popular one. It's unbelievable. So that one is really, really cool. There are many others. I teach a course called chordal moves and progressions. I'll write it in the chat. We are in week 9, I believe, of that class. But we start with the 251 in week 1. It's 12 weeks, and by week 12, we are in unbelievable progression area. So, so that course is something I would really encourage you to enroll in January when the semester rolls around again, if you're interested. Also, I have a video, 9 passing chords, that talks about different passing strategies and concepts that you can use. David Affinia says, what technical exercises do you recommend for speed and it's a great question.
Let me give you
I actually created a video, David, where I outline the very technique that I used to work on my speed and technique. So here's the video right there. Um, um, so definitely check that out. Okay, wow, you all have been amazing with your questions. I hope I was able to give you a snippet of an answer. Um, um, yeah, you all have been amazing. Such great questions. So thank you all. And you stuck with me for an hour. We've been at this for an hour. So wow, thank you so much. Listen, so I'm gonna shut it down. I'll tell you what. I'll take one more question, and then I will shut it down here. Let's see. Abraham Ajayi says, "Is it possible to learn someone's style?" For sure. Everyone is for the most part a product of some other styles that they've heard. For instance, Chick Corea. Chick Corea. Chick Corea had two really big influences. Who were the two people who influenced Chick probably the most? Does anybody know? Chick Corea, the famed jazz musician. He had two really big influences. And when you think about his playing, these two guys, I didn't know what they were until he said it. And then when he said it, I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense because you play just like them. I mean, well, differently, of course, because it's you. But there's so much of what you play that's them. Does anybody know who were Chick Corea's two biggest influences? Um, uh, and while some of y'all are thinking on that, Abraham, so yeah, and I encourage to listen to stuff you hear and take from the sounds you hear around you, the records. Find some people that really uh, inspire you, and then learn what they do, so that the thing that resonates with you, you can grab hold of. All right, so the two influences were Thelonious Monk and Bud Powell. Those are two of Chick Corea's influences. When you listen to, go and listen to Thelonious Monk and Bud Powell play, and then go and listen to Chick Corea, and you'll hear the influence. All right, so I'm going to stop right here. If you have some more questions, definitely write them in the chat, or write them in the chat, and I will try to respond to them in a upcoming live stream. Um, so I'm see things. Anything else? For those that missed it, happy belated Thanksgiving to you all. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving time. For those who are in the U.S. that celebrate it, and for everybody else, it's so good to see you all again. Glad to be back. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm going to end here. So thank you all again for tuning in. Continue to check out the channel. Continue to write your ideas. And I really appreciate you all. Also, I have some really big updates for you all very soon. Like unbelievable updates. So stay tuned. If you're not on my email list, definitely get on the email list, so I can keep you updated on the updates that are coming, because they're phenomenal updates. All right. Thank you all so much. Be blessed and happy practicing.